Hey, welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making these Asian inspired meatballs with rice and a side of green beans. This is a recipe from HelloFresh that I've had for years. We're going to be baking these meatballs, so the first thing we're going to do is get that oven preheating to 450. Here's all the ingredients that we're going to need for this recipe. First is the rice, because we're doing a side of rice. I'm using ground turkey, but you can use ground beef, ground pork, ground chicken, whatever you have on hand. It all tastes the same to me. We're going to have some garlic, ginger. You can use this ginger or powdered ginger. I'm using panko crumbs. These are pork rind crumbs. Love these, but you can use regular panko crumbs. Hoisin sauce, but you can see my bottle is almost empty. This is my preferred sauce, but I'm going to end up using this teriyaki sauce to cover the majority of my meatballs. You got to do what you got to do. Any sauce will work. I've also used Japanese barbecue sauce in these, and that's amazing. So here's the rice. I'm going to get this going. Boil some water, add the rice, turn it down, put the lid on, let it cook for 15 minutes. You can also use your Instant Pot or a rice maker, however you like to cook rice. So for the meatballs, we are going to put the meat in a pan or a bowl. And I messed up here a little bit. I put 2 eggs in when you only need 1 egg. I don't know what I was thinking. I did end up adding extra panko crumbs to this to help dry it out a little bit because it was very wet. But it turned out fine. Everything was fine in the end. You just kind of make up for it if you're making mistakes along the way. Cooking is not supposed to be stressful. Honestly, my motto should be, it'll be fine, because everything always turns out okay at the end. So yeah, I added some panko crumbs. I'm adding, what am I adding? The garlic powder right here. I'm going to leave the measurements for everything down below. I don't think I can link this recipe because it is from HelloFresh, but I'll leave the measurements for you. So yeah, I'm adding my ginger. And I didn't realize how low I was on this ginger. I don't think I added enough, and I was out of ginger powder. So again, like as I'm cooking, I'm out of things. I have to substitute ingredients all the time. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. This is my least favorite part of making meatballs. I love meatballs, but man, I do not like mixing the meat. It's pretty gross. Here I am just making the meatballs. Make them, I don't know, about golf ball size. You can make them larger or smaller. It really doesn't matter. It just might affect the cooking time a little bit, but these are all about golf ball size, and that's what works for me. We normally, everyone in my family normally eats 3 or 4 of these for dinner with the rice and the green beans, so you can kind of gauge how much you're going to get out of one package of turkey for this. I also wanted to add that I do add tinfoil and parchment paper to my pan before I put the meatballs on it. It just helps with cleanup. Here I am doing the green beans, so I'm going to get my pan nice and hot, add the oil, get that nice and hot. These green beans are from Aldi. They have really good frozen vegetables, guys. I always look out there. So I'm going to cook this whole bag. These are frozen, and I'm going to cook these in the pan like this. I'm going to add some salt and give those a really good stir. And yeah, let them go for a while. I think they took about 10 minutes or so. I forgot to say the meatballs, put those in the oven for 10 minutes. And then at the 10-minute mark, you can take them out and we're going to put the sauce on them. But the meatballs go for 10 minutes for the first round. So for the rice, I'm adding some butter. I really like buttery rice. I'm going to turn the heat off and move that off the heat and let that continue steaming up a little bit with the butter. Keep stirring those green beans. You can also add a little bit, like 2 tablespoons of water to your pan and cover the pan and let these steam, but I like them more fried. Just going to check on this rice, see how that butter's doing. It's melted, so we're going to stir that in. Gosh, this is so good. It makes me want some buttery rice right now. But yeah, that's just how I do my rice, and you can add this into your Instant Pot or your rice cooker, add rice in later, however you do it. Everybody does rice a little bit differently, but yeah, I'm just going to let that sit to the side while I'm waiting for the green beans and the meatballs. All right, it has been 10 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and take those meatballs out. They are not finished cooking yet. but they're mostly cooked. That's what they're going to look like. A little bit gross, but you know, they're tasty. We're going to add the hoisin sauce. I need to look that up, how to say that. We're just going to put some sauce over the top, and it's going to run down the sides and coat the meatballs while it's cooking, so you really don't have to mess with it. But yeah, I only got 5 meatballs out of this, which made me sad. But yeah, this is me just coating the meatballs with the hoisin sauce until it's all gone. Then I'm gonna cover the rest of them with the teriyaki sauce. Do you guys have a favorite Asian style sauce you really like? Like I mentioned, the Japanese barbecue sauce, I think it's from Kender. That's really good too. That would be my second favorite after the regular hoisin sauce. Hoisin sauce? Gosh, that's going to make me crazy. But also the sauces from Buffalo Wild Wings, those are all really delicious too. You could do any kind of meatball you want, really. Just add different sauces. So yeah, I just get these coated really well. Like I said, it looks like the sauce isn't covering the whole meatball, but it will after it cooks down. Gonna get those back into the oven, and we are gonna let those cook for another 5 minutes. Okay, it's time for the big reveal. Look at these meatballs, guys. These are just so nice. They're gonna look kind of glossy. They're gonna shimmer. They're gonna shine. They are so good. They're gonna be all bubbly and ooey gooey. So see how the sauce kind of ran down the sides, and there's our green beans. They're all done. Again, they're like glossy and shiny and beautiful. So yeah, this is what dinner is looking like. I'm sorry for the camera work here. I would like to blame that on someone else, but that's all me. So yeah, this is what dinner is looking like. I'm going to plate that up. Oh, there we go. It's all on a plate. Isn't that pretty? Looks just like the picture on the HelloFresh recipe. I've honestly made this a million times, guys, so I could make it without the actual recipe card. That was the really cool thing about getting HelloFresh, is that you get to keep the cards forever, and even if you're not, ordering their food anymore, you can just keep making the recipes. So yeah, this is really hot. You can see the steam coming off of it, so I gotta blow on it before I can taste it, but it was pretty darn good, if I say so myself. My whole family really likes this recipe. Makes great leftovers. I could have made both packages of the turkey and had lots of meatballs left, but I just wasn't feeling like making extra meatballs last night for whatever reason. So we didn't get any leftovers. We ate it all, and it was delicious. So yeah, if you guys make this recipe, please let me know. Hope y'all have a great night.